Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy
Yes.
Happy
Friday.
Yes.
Friday.
Friday.
I'm Tracy,
I am Crystal.
And I am Ashley.
and welcome to
Sister
It's
Chat.
the
Sister
chat
Chat
time.
Time. Sister Chat Time. Welcome,
Yes.
welcome, welcome, everybody, everybody. Welcome to our Sister Chat Time Live.
Yes. Yes.
And we
Yes.
just want to thank God for allowing us to be here
Yes, God,
Yes.
yes.
one more day. One more day. We just thank him, thank him, thank him. And so I just wanted to start off and ask everybody first to like our page and share it. And ladies, make sure you like our page,
Yes. I'm
Ashley and
doing that
Crystal,
now. I'm
and
taking care of it.
share our page on
Yes.
Facebook. Okay. Are we
Yes.
live? Are we live?
Yes. We're live
Okay.
now.
We are
Oh,
live.
okay, Lord. I did something right this time. Okay. As the old lady say in the church, charge it to my head and not
Yeah,
my
Not
not
my
heart.
my
heart.
heart. We
Oh
made
So
my
it.
God.
yes. So Ashley, how was your week?
It was good. It's been kind of stressful. I have some deadlines and everything like that. But I made the deadline today, so I'm
Okay.
really excited about it. So that's a huge weight off my back. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
am a lot more calm now.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
So
That's
yeah, it's
good.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a
Yes.
pretty good week though.
That's great. Okay. What about you, Crystal? How was your week?
Oh, Tracy, it was great. Recovering from a beautiful vacation.
Recovering.
Woo!
I'm recovering.
Oh
Woo!
man.
I
That's a
mean, when
good
I say
thing.
I'm getting rest, because I understand when you on vacation, there's no rest. You be trying to think of everything to do. But I'm grateful to have spent the time with you, Tracy, and the family. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Aw.
So now
Yeah.
I think probably by tomorrow I'll be
Fully
feeling pretty
recovered.
good. I
Okay.
was like, I just
Okay.
run home. I need a break. I need some
Oh.
rest. But thank
Yes.
you. How about you, Tracy?
You know what? You know, when we were on the trip, my motto is have fun now, rest when you get home.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I did not know with me coming home talking about resting that I would be resting because I had COVID.
Oh,
Yes. But I will say I thank God because he really got me through this. Like I just had a headache, my throat burned real bad, and that was it. And because the first this is my second time having COVID, and the
mm-hmm.
first time I had to go to the hospital, but this
yeah.
time I just say I thank God, that he allowed me to get through this,
Yes.
and so now my mom has it, she
Oh, we're
yeah,
Oh,
praying for
but
her.
we
yeah.
praying and believing and trusting God for her
Yes.
healing in the
Yes,
name
Yes.
of
God.
Jesus. By his stripes,
Yes.
she is
Yes. She's
healed,
Yes,
healed.
healed,
Lord.
healed.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I feel kind of bad though. I feel kind of bad. I ain't gonna say I feel kind of bad. I do feel bad all
Okay,
over.
man.
Yes,
Mm.
so yeah, if y'all see me drinking, it's because I still need a little water in my
That's all
system,
right.
something to
Mm-hmm.
drink.
You need to,
Okay,
yeah.
you see
Yes.
me putting
Hydrate
on my
yourself.
clothes today because
Hydra-
I'm trying to get my lips pretty. They dry.
Try.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what
it is.
COVID do
All
to you.
right.
Make your lips
All right.
dry. Okay.
Wow.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
so today we are going to be talking about parenting from a mother's perspective. And sometimes, well, of course, God created, husband and wife, and they created a child in the
Yeah.
midst of this. And
Mhm.
so sometimes women will say, well, I'm the mother and the father, which we know that's not true because we can only
No,
be
no.
one
One or the
parent,
other.
and
Mhm.
that's being a mother. And so, the Bible talks about in Proverbs 22:6 to train up a child in the way they should go. When they grow old, they won't
No, not
depart.
depart
Mhm.
from
And
it.
so I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
start because I know I have one son who's 34. I know actually you have one son who's 13.
13. Yeah,
And
he's
and
13.
and,
Yeah.
and the sad part is I don't even know the ages of Crystal kids, and they're my cousins. But
Wow.
Wait a minute.
That's
I
that's
know.
good.
Wait. I know that. I know Heaven is 19.
Yes.
Okay, she be 20
Okay.
this year. I know that because
Yeah,
she's
Oh,
close
you
to
got
Lawrence.
okay.
that right.
Wait a
Okay.
minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. My
And Jay
buddy.
will be 19 next
Okay.
month.
Okay.
Oh,
Hmm.
Okay.
wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Erica's
Yes.
31. Erica be 32 next month.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Wow.
And
Yes.
Wow.
Adriana's 23.
Oh, you got
Okay.
them out the way. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And you raising, and we all have boys. And
Mhm,
I never had the opportunity of raising a daughter. I did raise my granddaughter,
mhm,
but it was different. So I wanted to ask you ladies, with raising a son, I know for
mhm,
me, I was like afraid because of what was going on in the world. you
mhm,
know um Sometimes he wanted to do things that I didn't think, he should do, places he wanted
mhm,
to go, I didn't think he should go. And so, I try to keep him grounded in the church. I try to
mhm,
keep him close to God because I felt like that
mhm.
was something he needed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
growing up, Crystal, how difficult or was it difficult trying to raise your son to make sure that he wasn't out in the streets, late at night, just keeping that what's the word I want to use? That Christian base. um Help me out.
What did that?
Okay. So,
just
okay.
just
So,
being grounded, being
Level
grounded.
grounded. Yeah. Level grounded. Okay.
well, with it was hard for a while when when he became, I want to say, probably a teenager. That's when a little kid, I didn't have any issues with him. He was such the entertainer as a little. And
Please don't
Tracy,
tell me
you
that.
know that with Daquan, he loved to
Yes.
dance, sing, rap.
Oh.
Yes.
He could do it all. So he
Mhm,
would entertain and shut the party down. So that's
Okay.
growing up. That was him. But when he became this teen, I want to say probably fifth grade is when I noticed he started kind of showing off. And dad wasn't the disciplinary like I was. Dad like, oh,
mm,
I'll talk to him. And
Right.
that was hard because dad didn't talk to him.
Right.
He'll whisper something to him. I don't know what that was, but it didn't work.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what I ended up doing was I found out my son was being a bully
Oh
to
wow.
mm,
the kids in school, and I was not having
mm.
that. They had just started this program called Reaching
Hmm.
New Heights with the DC
Hmm.
Police Department, and I
Okay.
Oh,
put him in that program.
okay.
But it was hard. I stayed. What I did though, guys, what I understood was stay right there with them. You know how we cast our kids to the side. Oh no, I'm not
Hmm.
Mm,
dealing with that. I got too much going on. I didn't do that with Jay. I
mm,
whatever he got involved in, I don't care if it was basketball, football, tennis. He played it
mm,
all in school. I
mm,
supported
mm,
him, and I that's I think that's what really helped him to stay on straight street. Like I said, he strayed a couple of times,
mm.
showing off,
Oh, sure.
but he got back. Got himself together, and I was proud of him for that. Like now, he's 18 years old,
Mm,
got in some trouble not
mm,
long ago, hanging with the wrong crowd. But I'm
Hmm.
so grateful to God that he was right there
okay.
in that courtroom.
I
Wow.
know that's right.
Wow.
And my
Wow.
son, my
Wow.
son is here to tell a story. And it could have
Yeah.
went the
Wow.
other way. So it
Mhm.
was hard for me. I was afraid, guys, being in that
Mhm.
courtroom. I was
Mhm. Mhm.
thinking that was going to be it. When I heard the charges, I'm like, oh no, no, God, I
Mm.
need you to step in right now. And
Wow.
Right.
God did that.
Wow.
Amen. Won't he
Yeah.
do it?
So
Wow.
Won't
yeah,
he do it?
won't
Won't
he
he
do
Wow.
it?
will?
Wow.
What?
Won't he
Really
Yes.
will?
won't
So
he?
yeah,
Really won't he?
and
Yes.
guess what? He won most valuable player in basketball this
Oh
year.
wow.
And
Yeah.
I know that's
he's
right, buddy.
still pursuing his
Nice.
rap career. The boy can sing, he can do it all. So I
Yes.
am
Okay.
so proud of him.
Yes.
Wow.
But it wasn't
Yes.
Wow.
easy.
I know that's right. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. What about you,
Actually,
Ashley?
yes.
I'm here trying to gain some some knowledge and stuff from you guys. See, I'm just starting out. You see, I hung my head down when you said about fifth grade. I was like, oh, I'm just getting started.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Oh
You know
man,
one thing I've learned, Ashley, with
whew.
my son, he loved me, loved me, loved me.
uh,
And he loved on me and then as he started getting older, because we still had dates. We had mother and son dates. And we go to the restaurant, go to the movies. That was our
love
time.
that.
And
Oh,
then, once he started getting up there, it would be like, Mom, can we go next week? Mom, can we go next week? Mom, can we go
oh,
next week?
see, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, you know, now that he's at that teenage stage, have
Mm-hmm.
you noticed a difference from him from one? Well, I'm quite sure you have, but what is the difference that you've noticed that you may be saying, dang, I feel like he may be pulling away. Do you feel that with him?
You, this is actually real funny that you're even mentioning this. My son, it's so crazy. He's actually pulling closer to me right now.
Wow.
It's
Oh,
That's
so
a good
crazy.
thing.
Like it is. So kids nowadays they just want to play games or go outside
mhm.
doing all the stuff like that. It's probably part two to that too, is because like I've recently started dating again,
I was
and
going to say
so
that too,
yeah, that's
Okay.
it. So that's what it is. He's like, no, I don't want you dating. I don't want you. Oh, I want you to spend time with me. So now it's like he only want to spend time with me because somebody else. We would be together and he'd be on his phone or in his room somewhere. He only comes out when it's time to eat or something like that. But now that somebody else has my attention, then he wants
Mhm.
all of my attention again. So
Yes.
that's it's funny because and it's literally just unfolding too.
Yeah,
And so now he wants to be up under mommy or, trying to figure out what I'm doing now that I'm, out and
yeah.
about and stuff. So I don't know. He's trying to get closer.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
jealous,
yeah,
Ashley.
that's exactly what it is.
I'm not saying it. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say
Hey, listen, put him on his Zoom, and I will tell him.
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I'll
Because
tell them
yeah.
get
yes,
somewhere and
You gonna
sit
tell
down.
him?
yes, yes,
That's exactly what it is. Like, oh man,
yes. You know what's
mhm,
so funny is that my son he was a teenage dad, and
okay,
I was mad. I really was. I was angry
mhm,
with him. And I
mhm,
remember when he used to play football. And when he came home
Mhm.
from school, I used to always massage his back and stuff. And this one particular, when I found out he had a baby on the way, I
oh,
like pushed him away. I was like, move. I don't
oh
even. He was like,
wow,
you
you're not
act
my
like you.
baby anymore.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
having a
Mhm.
baby.
yeah.
What are
And
you
he was like, you act like I'm your man or something. I was like, no,
doing?
you. But the thing
Wow.
was, we always communicated,
Yeah.
but he was
Mm.
afraid to tell me because I didn't find
Oh
out until the
wow.
girl was like 8 months pregnant, 7 or 8 months.
Whoa, whoa.
Yes, and so we were in a situation where we were living. I think I was living with my mom at the time. I had to go back home with my
Oh
mom.
wow, wow.
Had just got a job, and it
Mm,
was just like that.
mm.
You hit me with this, and so
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure he finished school.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
decided that you're going to take care of your daughter,
mm,
because this is your responsibility.
yeah.
And the one thing he realized was that he needed to get a job, but he still wanted to play ball. And so that's what he did because
Mm.
I was determined I was not going to make it easy for him to go and have another baby. And
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm,
glad that he
mhm,
waited,
mhm, mm.
So, what do you ladies think, when you are trying to keep them on the right path? And I thought that we had a good relationship. Well, we did, but I found out that kids would do things and be afraid to tell us. So, what do you
Mm.
think? Have you experienced that, Ashley? where you found out, I mean, not about the baby, but just
Not
have
yet.
you ever experienced, or found out something that he didn't tell you?
No. Y'all are scaring me. Tell you, I hope not. Maybe I'm gonna go snooping around in his room and make
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah,
If
actually,
he
you
if it's
better.
not, then he's
Yeah.
doing good. He's doing good at hiding it, whatever it is. But no, I think he's pretty open with me right now. Of course, we're still preteen. So
Yeah,
so
you better start taking
right
notes as.
now he's open. That's why I say I'm here to listen. I am here to listen. Please,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm accepting
Yes,
all bits of advice.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So,
I know.
Crystal.
I know. For me, with my son, I noticed like a change when because it was always a battle when it's time to shower, and I pray he's watching, but
Oh,
but it was
good.
That's
I'm
always
not
a
gonna
all
do
battle. I'd be
boys.
that.
like, boy, you know how boys are. They think just go shake their clothes out and just going out the door. And I'm like,
Yes.
And I'm like, hold up, come here, son, back up, back up, back up. You got
Mm-hmm,
to go
mm-hmm.
upstairs and get yourself together. But I don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
say that anymore. So that's when
Uh-huh.
I knew. I said,
That's how you knew.
oh boy,
Oh,
dating.
okay. I
You
have
taking
noticed
pride
that.
in what you put on now,
Uh,
and you
that
want to
is
shape
funny.
up more than you. That it's not every 2 weeks anymore. It's every week you want to shape up.
Right.
Oh,
So I'm like,
okay.
Yeah.
okay, and I don't see that. The thing is,
Okay.
I for a while I felt like I was losing him. So I'm like, okay, somebody
Mm,
got his attention. He's not
yeah.
around me
Mm.
as much.
Right.
I come at one time I will come home, he's here, greet me at the door. But one thing I love, he still when he walk in that door, he kiss me on the cheek. If in
Okay.
here he leaving out, I get that
Okay.
kiss on the cheek. All right, well, see you
Okay.
later. But
Okay.
I
Right.
still miss the bonding time. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I'm gonna have to have a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share with you that Angelo said to describe my mother, I can't see. Y'all need my glasses, but I can't see. Hold on. To describe my mother would be to write about a hurricane in its perfect power or the climbing, falling colors of a rainbow. So I wanted to ask you, Crystal, if your children had to describe you, how would they describe you?
Oh boy. And I'm
Oh.
gonna be honest because we on live.
Oh man.
Well, if they had to describe me, I'll say, well, my oldest daughter moved out at the age, I believe, of 20, 21, and have yet to come back. So I asked her, hey, why you the only one that never wanted to come back? And she said, because you're crazy. So so if they had to describe me, that's how they would describe me. All of them said that I'm crazy. They said I'm very strict. So, but they
Okay.
Mm,
they said, "Mom, we thank you, for because hey, and from the womb they were in Greater Harvest Baptist Church before they were born. Hey, we weren't having
Mhm.
that. I had a praying grandmother, so
Okay.
I had to
mhm.
go to church, and I pushed
Mm.
them as well. So they did thank me for pushing them, but they say, Mom, if when we leave, we really don't want to come back. You so strict, you knocking on doors.
Oh
You
wow.
I mean, I called them guys when I hear footsteps. Hey, who's that?
Wow. Wow.
Who's that coming
Wow.
in the door? I'm looking at the camera. But that's
Wow.
how they would describe me. Seriously, they would
Oh.
describe me and say, "Ma is crazy."
Wow.
Because that's what they say all the time.
Wow.
She
Wow.
love us, but
Oh.
she's the disciplinary. But
Wow.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's how they would describe me. That's all I can give
Hmm.
y'all. Seriously.
Wow.
What about you,
Wow.
Ashley?
I don't know. Oh man. I, that's so funny because I would be the exact opposite from you.
What?
If anything, I
I'm not
am
nice
not
at all.
that strict.
Yeah,
If
I'm straight.
anything, like gosh, you probably say tired because I always want to come in and take a nap when I get home. I'm so exhausted from work. Oh man. But
Mhm.
you know what? Of course, like I said, like, started dating and everything like that. And he's like, he doesn't want me dating. I said, well, why did you want your mom to be happy? He said, you're fine. And he was like, I don't like him. I don't like him because you're too
Oh,
perfect. Then he gonna tell me, I said, why don't you? He's like, why don't you want me dating? It says, because you're too perfect and he doesn't deserve you and stuff like. I said,
oh,
oh, I appreciate you.
oh.
He's like, let him find somebody else. You're too perfect. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. Like, but no, I'm still gonna I'm not, but he did think that he thought that of me to even say that and
Yeah,
everything like that. He
yeah.
likes my cooking. Okay. But
Mhm.
no, I
That's
don't
how he would
know.
describe you then, Ashley. You
I,
said it.
he said,
You
I thought it was good.
perfect.
Like I go to cook, and he's like, "Please don't tell me you didn't cook this for him, because I want to be the only one to eat your food." And
Oh wow.
this is getting toxic. I
Yes.
don't
Wow.
know, but so
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
Well, I don't think you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna be on his good list. So,
Yeah. Mm-mm.
no.
Oh well,
Yes.
Mama
You
gotta live.
know. You know what the thing is. I think my son called me crazy too. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, he probably had a lot of. I mean, like sometimes he even told. No, this is the funny thing, y'all. My son used to always say, "You right, ma. Ma, you right."
Oh, that's it.
And
Just to
he
shut
told
you up.
me, yeah, and he told me the reason. Yes, I just always said that just to shut you up. And so I had called him one day and he was with his friend. And he said, Mom, I was just telling my friend about you. I was telling him he got to do his mother like I used to do you. Yeah, you right, Mom. And I just laughed and I said, well, guess what, son? Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. So just
Mhm,
remember
mhm,
that.
mhm,
So yeah, I mean, the one thing that I would say, you know, that even now, tell me if y'all agree or disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Something that God said to me, God told me that we never stop being parents. And
Yeah.
mhm,
so,
mhm,
even at my age, I
mhm,
still need my mom.
mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
I still need her. Like
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I would just lay across her bed. I remember when I
Oh.
used to go and, massage her feet, and my
Mm-hmm.
other sister would be like,
Mhm.
oh, you touching her feet?
Oh, come
But
on.
just to still have that closeness, so
Mhm, mhm.
um do y'all agree that we still need our parents?
Absolutely.
Oh yes, yes,
Absolutely.
yes. I'm
Yeah.
grateful for the time
Mhm,
that I had with both my parents.
mhm,
Right.
God called them home, but I'm grateful for the time I had. I remember I have great memories of both
mhm,
mom and dad,
mhm.
and miss them terribly. I tell you,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
still
Wow.
remember. Yeah, when I
Yeah.
Wow.
remember those liver and rice days with my
Yeah.
Oh,
mother.
Wow.
That was one of
Yes.
her
wow.
favorite meals.
Oh
Yes. Yes.
man.
Now, actually, are your parents still alive?
Yes, yes, they
You
Oh,
did.
are.
that's
Okay.
Yes,
awesome.
thank goodness.
Okay. So,
Awesome.
so
Mhm,
since we're talking about mom from a mother's perspective,
mhm.
do you feel like you still need your mom?
Absolutely, I
Okay. So
absolutely
what is the
do.
what is the one joy that you get still being around her?
Uh we we're shoppers. So the one joy, like even just going out on Wednesdays, there are, so I don't know if you know, Lidl and Aldi come out with their specials. They turn a new week on Wednesdays,
Mhm.
so we used to go out and like have our big shopping days, and she looked forward to that. We haven't been able to do it, in a couple of months or whatever, but going out shopping, thrifting. We love thrift stores together. We said we wanted to
Hmm.
take like a road trip and go to all the flea markets and thrift. That's like just something as simple as that. She calls me, she's at the store, it's like, oh my gosh, look at this, look what I caught on sale. Oh, look what I found. Like that's that, just doing that, like being able to call her or she called me when she finds something different or a good deal on something and is excited, she picks up and call or take a picture and send it. All right, but look at your phone. You want me to pick you up one of these? We have like our favorite stores and everything like that. Like I get so much joy in that. She does too. It's just like,
Wow.
I need my Ashley time. Like
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh,
and yeah, and she, you
Wow.
know, she talks about it so much. Her friends jump on them like, I want to go. Let me go with you. You know? And then they like, only if Ashley's not gonna come. And if Ashley doesn't, so here lately she's been able to go out with her friends to go.
oh,
But
good.
so they get a little bit of what we get. She gets so excited talking about it. It's like I want to go there now. I want you.
Wow.
So we're gonna get back up on our Wednesday trips.
Oh, see, mom probably. I'm sure she missed that.
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna have to
I know.
get on board with y'all.
You know, and it started during the pandemic. That's what happened. It started during the pandemic when, you know, we had to go out and find disinfectants and all that stuff like that. And it was like this hunt to try to find Lysol. And it started with that, and then it turned into plants. And so now we're, you know, big plant moms now. We're, you know, always in the garden center or looking for plant shops and swaps and stuff like that. So yeah. We got all that together. Yes. Oh, I'm my mommy.
Oh,
My mommy.
yes.
Yes. That sounds like y'all have a great relationship.
Oh, we do. We look just alike, sound just alike, act just alike.
Oh wow.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Ashley, are you closer to your mom than your other siblings?
So I'm a twin. And actually we have two sets of twins in my family.
Oh,
We were just
wow.
all on a call earlier today too. But yeah, both sets of twins are on there. But it's 6 of us all together.
Oh,
So
wow.
I guess we lived with my mom the longest. I think we all are pretty close. But I think I lived with her the longest. But we all have our, you know, of course, our own special relationships and stuff like that.
Right.
But I just think that because I lived with her longer, and my son, you know, growing up, he was born there, and we stayed there for some years or whatever. And I'm closer in proximity to her. I think I just come over there and just do all the stuff like that.
So the answer would be yes.
I'm not trying to say. I don't know. I think everybody has their own special.
Ashley. Listen, Ashley. I'm my mother's favorite.
They might be watching the live. They might be watching live. I can't say
That's
it.
okay. You know what, Ashley? It's okay.
Get
They
you
already
later.
know.
I didn't say it, guys. I said everybody has their own special relationship with her.
Yes. You know what's so funny? I used to always tell my son, "You are my favorite son." He'd be like, "Mom, I'm your only son."
That's what she said. She says, "You're my favorite Ashley," and that's what he would say. And she would say, "Your favorite, you know, whatever the name is or whatever." So
that's
I'm
a
her
good way to
favorite
put it.
Ashley. I'm her favorite. Ashley.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Yes.
My kids say that all the time about me with my son. They say that my son is the favorite. They can ask me for something and I'll tell them, I'll let you know. But if he texts or calls, I'll send it to him. So they say,
you're not so strict after all.
That's why he's spoiled.
So, Crystal, do you have a favorite?
Yeah.
They might
be were right. That's my boy, my only boy. Yeah,
only boy. Oh,
I think what I went through, you know, with Jay Tracy, as you know, Jay was the preemie, 2 pounds 9 ounces. So Jay was pronounced dead, and I think that was, you know, knowing that when they rushed him out of there,
miracle baby.
I had like no idea what was going on. We didn't know for 2 hours whether he was living or not.
No.
And they came and they told me that they had called it, and my son came back. So that's why he became that miracle child, and we treated him like that miracle baby. You know, because he And I
Oh.
remember my pastor told me, my pastor say, "That's your son." He said, "You ain't gonna have no more."
Mm.
Okay.
That's your last kid right
Okay.
there.
Yeah. After all that.
And we
Wow.
Mm.
spoiled him. We did. We
Yeah.
spoiled him. And to see him
Yeah.
now at 18,
Mm.
and he had
Mm.
he stayed on the ventilator, I think one day. And
Wow.
Wow.
one day, yep.
Wow.
Mhm. When they
Wow.
Wow.
revived him, he stayed on the ventilator one day. He was on the feeding tube
Oh.
for a while.
Okay.
No, don't, he did suffer headaches growing up,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
eventually he suffered really bad migraines. So we had to take him back and forth to Children's Hospital. But
Mm.
now there was
Wow.
nobody but God.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
that's how I got so attached to him because
Wow.
we
Mhm.
had to be together all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Myself, his dad, and me, we stayed at Children's Hospital.
Mm. Okay. Wow.
So I wanted to ask you
Mm.
ladies, you know, when Mary had to see her son
Mm.
being beaten,
Mm.
you
Wow.
know, to be hung up on the cross.
I hate that.
That's, you hate the story. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
wow. Mm.
it really made me think
Yeah.
that I know that I could not have sat there and watched that,
Nope.
Mm.
because they would have been beating me, putting me on the cross too, because I
Yes,
would
With
Lord.
him.
have.
Yes,
With him.
Lord.
So, you know,
Wow.
it's like she knew what she needed to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, sometimes I believe that God will show us things about our children,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and we have to step back even when we see our children going through.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
my question is, do you believe that you can trust God enough to allow him to I give you an
Mm.
example. I remember my son was going through a whole lot of stuff in school, and I remember I kept giving it to God, but I kept taking it back. I kept giving it,
Mm.
and the one thing, you know, God said to me, "Do you want to do it, or you want to let me do it?"
Right.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
Oh. Yeah.
And so it was just like,
Mhm.
you know, I would see him making baby steps, but then he'd go right back, and it was just like I got to step in, but that's not what God wanted me to do. So I'm
Mm.
gonna ask you, Ashley, can you are are you in a place even at 13 where God's showing you, hey, he's going through something, but I need you to let me do it. All I need you to do is pray. Do you think you can step back? Do you think you can really step back and allow God to do what he needs to do for your son?
I'd like to say yes. Of
Yeah.
course, we never know until we're actually in something how strong we are really. Like,
Right.
I could say all day, oh yeah, of course, that's God, but
Yeah.
it all, I got to say it all when things happen. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't even honestly say. I would
Wow.
love to give it over to God,
Yeah.
Right.
but then it'll always be like, "But God, this is different." It's not like the other time. This is something totally different, and
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
it's so.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to pray for strength.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
say. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yes.
I don't
Definitely.
know.
Yes. What about you, Crystal?
Yeah, well, recently I had to let go and allow God. You know how
Mm,
sometimes we, like you said, um, letting go was hard for me because I was trying to fix it myself. Watching, and
mm,
my daughter's watching. A Brown is
mm.
watching, so I don't have to talk about her behind her back. But I had to. I watched her, go through some stuff. She has biologically one kid, and
Mhm.
this 11 months will be a year old next month, and she took
Oh.
on the role, to be a step up mom, and I didn't like it. I felt it was too much for her, but her
Mm, mm,
watching her as a young kid growing into adulthood, I knew that my daughter had, such a passion for kids anyway. She loved people. And I had to understand and let go. And God showed me that He got this. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to see this kid, somewhere where he doesn't, was in an unfamiliar place. So she took on that road. And he's such a great kid, though. He is. But it's hard to see her go through that. But she doing it. And I'm grateful that I allowed God to minister to me and show me to just step out the way and let Him handle
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Something happened to Ashley.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
it.
You
Okay.
know, you
There it
know,
is. All right, puppy.
Coco, I think she be knowing when I'm
Okay.
on live because she be wanting me to pick
She
her up.
always want to get in, and
Yes.
I have one right here that wants to get in the live as well. He just keeps coming over asking, "Who is that? You want to
Oh,
say hi? You can come and say hi. Come on,
come on, say hi.
come on, come here, come here."
I wish I had
Yeah.
somebody to say hi.
This was that bonus grand boy right here,
Oh,
and he just
hi.
wanted to say hi. Say hi.
Hey, girl. Mm.
You see the puppy? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay,
You
take
know,
your water. Take your water.
well, you're not there yet, Ashley. Hopefully you won't be there anytime soon. And you know, I have one son and I have 7 grandchildren.
Mm.
Ooh.
A lot. And
Come
I
on, a
said to
lot.
him, I said to him one time, if I could have been a grandmother first, I wouldn't have never been a mother.
Oh,
Oh, wow,
yeah.
wow, wow.
I was joking with
Wow.
him, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Being a grandmother. It is a totally different type of love.
It is. It
I
It
is.
hear
really
that.
is, and not
I hear
and the one thing that he always says to me is the stuff that you let these kids do. You
Get
would
away
Yeah.
with.
never
Yeah.
let me do this. I would have
Oh.
never got away with this.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so, you know, like my oldest granddaughter used to be so funny. She was the first one, and she Coco, she a trip. And so
Coco, terrible.
yeah, and so I remember she used to always want to ride in the front seat, but she couldn't because she was so
Okay,
little.
yeah.
And so as she got older, I took my car seat, I mean her car seat, and I put it in the front. And when my son
Oh.
seen it, now I could
Oh.
do that at the time. She
Okay.
was old enough, but she just was still
Okay.
small.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Man, the stuff that you do for your grandkids." My oldest grandson, it was so funny. He he did not want to get out of a car seat.
Oh,
And
God.
they had like the little booster thing.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
And I remember I let somebody use it, and he was so mad they never gave it back. And he probably was about 8 or 9 years old, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
He still wanted to be in the
And I went and bought him one. My son was so
Oh
mad.
my gosh.
And
Wow.
he just kept saying
Wow.
to my grandson, "Look at the baby. Look." He was so mad, you know. So Crystal, being a grandmother, you know, the difference with with your children and your grandchildren. Like what kind of feeling do you get?
Man, let me say this. When we were away on that cruise, I was like, God, I can't talk to Nene, because I called my granddaughter Nene, and I'm like, dang,
Oh.
wait a minute. But you know what made me feel so good when I got back here Sunday, and I opened up the door, that thing spit her little pacifier out and was just
Oh.
smiling, and I'm that made me melt. I was like, oh, she really do miss me.
Oh,
She was
Wow.
so
Jesus.
happy to see me. I guess she was saying,
That's
"Where
so
you been?"
cool.
So it's I'm telling you, it's a different type of love with them grandkids. It's like you
Yes.
went through
I
so
hear
much
that.
with your kids, you had to do it all. Them grandkids, you can get them back,
Yeah,
but you get to
yeah.
love on them before you give
Oh
them back.
man.
Yes. Yes.
So it is. It
Mm,
hits different with them
it's
Yes.
grandkids.
different.
Yes.
It
Well,
is.
I would
It's
tell you this.
unconditional.
Yes. Ashley, I will tell you this. Having having a son and you too, Crystal, because you have a son, but having that son, when it was so funny. My son used to always come in my room in the middle of the night, and we would just kiss, 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 kiss. He would get out of
No.
his bed and just want to kiss, 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 kiss. And so it's like enjoying those moments. And then you have the moments when you be like, boy, I am not trying to go to jail.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Yes. But the most important thing is just having that bond.
Mm-hmm.
Like my son 34 years old, and he still gets mad with me, and so I one thing I do is that I always try to pray.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when me and him, instead of having heated discussions, we would text
Okay.
so that we would not say the
I'm
wrong
so
thing
something.
to each
Mm-hmm.
I
other,
I
and
like
we'll
that.
just text. And
Mm,
the one thing people don't understand is that God, he showed me something, and my son used to always say it to me. He said, "Mom, because you're the mother, doesn't make you right," and
Oh.
that's true.
wow.
You know,
Mm,
I believe that we um there's a um there's a trickle effect,
Mm-hmm.
meaning we learn things from our parents
Yeah.
mhm,
and they learn things
mhm,
from their parents.
mhm,
Oh yeah.
mhm,
And not saying that
mhm,
they taught us the wrong thing,
mhm.
but some
You
things you
just
do
take what they
want to
know.
change as a parent.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so, my mom had 5 children. Now she used to
Mhm,
always say, "I love each and every one of y'all,"
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted her to say, "Tracy, I love you," individually. You know what I mean? And
individually. Wow.
but
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. And so, but that
Mm,
was her way of expressing her love.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Being
wrong.
equal.
You know what I mean? And so,
Mhm,
you know, I said I was going to do things different with my son,
Mm-hmm.
which I did, but
mhm,
I still made mistakes along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't come with a manual.
Oh.
no. No.
And so,
No.
the one thing always made sure, and I still do, is to always tell them I love them. If I'm wrong, I don't have a problem with apologizing,
Mhm.
to make things right. And so
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you, ladies, what is the one thing that you definitely try to do to make sure that you are in a good standard place with your children or your child, Crystal?
Well, what I do daily is I always make sure if I don't call, well, I call the oldest daughter and I almost had the same schedule, so I call. We always talk on the way to work, and I don't feel right if I don't talk to her while she's on the
Mm,
way. So
okay.
I try to make that a habit of calling her every day. But we have this group text where we text every day and make sure we tell each other we love each other. So,
Right.
and that's something that I think um, is the most important thing because you never know if you're going to return back home.
And that's
So
true.
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
good to
Yeah.
let your kids know that you love them. If
Right.
you can't kiss them every day and hug them, at least I'm grateful for this text, man. I didn't at one time
Mhm.
didn't like this text, but it's a good thing when you can't reach out and touch your kids. You can touch them
Mhm.
through the FaceTime and stuff like that. So we do that. We big on that. So that's
Mm.
something
Okay.
that I love to
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Okay. What about
How
you,
about you?
Ashley?
Um, definitely, with the um I love you. The whether on the phone if I see him or in the morning I drop him off. Um I I always try to say that I embarrass him, but I want him to give me my kisses. I want him to give me a kiss on the cheek. It's like, and he tried to do it a couple times because his friends were out there. I said, "You better get back over you." I'm gonna beat my horn real loud, and I'm gonna say, "Mommy loves you." But even if he got to sneak me a kiss or something like that, I try to make sure. But one thing I definitely try to make sure is that you know I'm telling him that he's great at whatever it is. He doubts himself like within school, or I don't know where he gets this thing that he has to be so perfect. Because I tell him, I'm saying you don't have to be perfect, just try your best.
Right.
But if
Right.
he's so hard on himself, but I tell him how great he is, how awesome he is, and everything like that. I tell him like everybody around you sees how great you are.
Yeah.
You gotta see it too. Like
Yes.
he's
Mm,
great with like music and stuff like that. He's a musician, he
Oh,
loves his drums and everything
awesome.
like that. He has a great ear. Any kind of sports or think like anything that he, you know, pretty much thinks that he want to do, he does it. Like and he does it good. But he does not see how great that is. And but
yeah.
I try to speak into it every day, try to tell him one day he'll get it.
Yes.
But
Yes. That's
so
what
I
you
make sure
definitely
I
have
try
to
to do
do.
that daily as much as I possibly
Yeah.
can. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Kate Winslet, she says having children just puts the whole world into perspective.
Yeah.
Everything else just disappears.
Woo, boy.
Oh.
And that is so true. That
That's
is
true.
so true.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when my son, he's my miracle child. He is. And like I say, we didn't come with, any instructions
Hmm.
on how to, raise children.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I made sure was that he knew that I loved him. Thank
Yes.
you. I made sure that he knew that I would be there for him. And
Hmm.
even to this day, I actually, got married a few years ago, and he would never really talk about Phil.
Hmm.
He would always pretend like he didn't like Phil. Let me say that.
Hmm.
Oh
But my
man.
sister told me that he said, he's the right one for my mother. He would never tell me that.
Oh,
Yeah, he never told me that.
that
And
pride. That
and
pride.
the one thing I did, I definitely try to make it special, at our wedding, and I even dedicated a dance with him. You'll always be my baby.
Hmm.
And
Oh.
yeah, and so, it's like, just like she said, your children would make you put things in perspective to
Yeah.
always let them know, you're never forgotten about.
Hmm.
I'm gonna, no matter what, I'm gonna always be here for you,
Yeah.
through thick and through thin. And
Hmm.
so, even, with his baby mamas, I I'll say that for another time. But
Oh.
I would say this. One thing I would say is that, you know, sometimes they want to compete with our love
Yeah.
and their love towards him. But
Yeah.
see, the thing about it is that you, as a parent, we always, will try to, at least for me, I will
Yeah.
always try to be there for my son no matter what. And
Hmm.
so how do you put things in perspective, Ashley, when it comes, and I know your son's young, but as teenagers they still go through, but
Hmm.
how do you put things in perspective with him to remind him and to let him know that no matter what, you're going to always be there for him.
Hmm.
I think. um, I think. I guess I'm gonna say it in my way. Like, and when I think about putting things in perspective, I'm thinking about my perspective now as an adult, as a mom, makes me think of how dumb I was
Yeah.
back when I was his age and things like whatever he's thinking about now. I'm like, you know what? I know what he's thinking at this point, or
Hmm.
whatever. Yeah, it was so stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you,
Hmm.
because I was there, and of course, I guess putting it in that perspective is like I can be a little more understanding, and I could
Yeah.
um it's frustrating. It's very
Oh, yeah.
frustrating. But um being able to see his perspective as opposed to, you know, my parents when I was older, whatever. I was, it was always like oh, you don't understand.
Mhm.
You don't know what it's like to be a kid. Like, you know, I try to explain to him why I think he did this because of how I did when I was trying to
Right.
understand what he is. So as opposed to don't do that or I told you not to do. No, I would come back and I would be like, you weren't even thinking about that, did you? You thought that you were doing that, didn't you? You know, I
Uh-huh.
guess that is the perspective that I'm talking about. That I mean, it's just like I'm able to like step into his shoes and figure out where he was at the time and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And so my son has ADHD, and learning about him made me realize I believe I have ADHD too. So, and there's a lot more stuff online nowadays that you know
Yeah,
it's not
it
so
is.
taboo. So
Mhm.
everybody's talking. It's all over TikTok. You know, you have ADHD talk. You know,
Right.
so so I'm learning a lot about why he's thinking the way he is, and like,
Yes.
wow, I think like that too. So now, like, it's not like, oh, you have this and no one understands you. I actually do understand you. This is why I'm telling you not to do this.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
you know, that is
Right.
my take on that perspective part.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
like with my oldest daughter, mind you, I
Mm-hmm.
was almost 17 when I had her. I
Mm-hmm.
was still a kid. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying to figure this thing out, being a young mother like that. So I went through her and I kind of went through some stuff. That
Mm-hmm.
postpartum thing, I went through that where I
Mm-hmm.
went and I was like really depressed trying to figure out, oh my God, if I felt like back then I was going to fail her. So, you know, wasn't the best
Mm-hmm.
mom for a while, just trying to figure it out. But as when she got older and started realizing, wait a minute. But well, I'll say it's changed when she had her son. And she
Oh.
understood that although she was 19 when she had her firstborn,
Mm-hmm.
but when she had him, she was like, wow. And so, you know, she had this thing where no, you weren't there. So I want you, you weren't there for me like I wanted you, but I
Mm-hmm.
wanted you to. So you're gonna be there for my
Mm-hmm.
son. So with
Mm-hmm.
her and I went through some stuff, but I'm
Yeah.
grateful that we got that thing together. There was nobody
Right.
but God.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
said, hold up. I said, just because I had to figure it out doesn't mean you're
Yeah,
gonna make
you
me
gotta figure it
pay.
out, right?
You're not
Right.
gonna make me pay for
You're not
this.
gonna make me
But
do this
hey,
twice.
I love my main. That's
Yeah.
my main man. He's 12 years
Yeah.
old now. But
Oh.
we both sat down and I was able to put it all in perspective and understood why she felt the way she felt. She felt she didn't have her mom, but she said she had to
Mm-hmm.
realize you was trying to be a child. You was still a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then she got it. She said, Mom, it wasn't until I had my son when I realized, oh, my mother was a child when she had me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
how was she able? She needed
Mm-hmm.
help, you
Yeah.
know, which I did. Her godmother, God rest her soul, would step
Oh,
in and
wow.
help me raise her for a while. So
Mm.
yeah, oh man, that thing was
Right.
serious.
That's
Yeah.
a-
But we so much better now, man. I'm
oh
like, boy,
That's a
wow.
and she
blessing.
became my first lady. That's what I call her,
Okay.
my first
Okay.
lady. Yeah,
Okay.
so
That's
I
Nice.
love that thing now. You know what I'm saying? But it
Nice.
wasn't easy with Eric. That thing reminded you, no,
Oh
you
wow.
gonna do this.
yeah. Yes. And listen,
Yeah.
y'all. If y'all see me get up and run to the bathroom,
No worries.
my husband gave
Oh.
me some tea. I don't know if this is
Uh-oh,
tea.
uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
Phil,
Uh-oh.
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 I don't know if this laxative tea that or not.
Oh wow. Wow.
Oh
So
my
Mm.
just keep going. Let's just hope and
Oh
pray
my
it's not.
goodness.
You know, I was just sitting here and I was just thinking, even to this day, my son, he'll get mad at me in a minute, and then
Mm.
he'll block me, and the one thing at first I used to get upset about it, and then I stopped because
Mhm.
it was like that's just first of all, he's spoiled. And it wasn't me, it was my mom. My mom spoiled him.
Yes.
When I had cancer many,
You
many
could
years
tell
ago, she
that.
took care
Yeah.
of him. And so,
Mhm.
they just bonded, and to this day
Mhm.
she still spoils him. And
Mm.
he'll get upset with me, and so he'll be like, in the beginning he'll say, "Mom, I'ma block you," and I'd be like, "Oh no, I don't want him to block me." But then I got to
Mhm.
the point I was like, "Okay."
Okay. Okay. Mm.
Or then when he's mad with me, he'll be talking to my granddaughter on FaceTime, and I'll be like, "I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it."
That's right.
Yeah, and so the thing is, it's like I truly allow God to speak to me on how to handle him.
Mhm.
Because one thing I've learned is that our children, they go through. They may not tell us things that they're
Yeah.
going through, and
Mhm.
I'm quite sure that I told you my son has 7 kids and 4 baby mamas. And
Mhm.
so I'm quite sure that could be a lot. And so, I be joking with my granddaughter sometimes, and she just be like, "Man, I don't understand daddy sometimes." And I just be like, "He's a good man, Savannah."
Savannah, saying it to me, isn't it? That
He's
is
just in a
funny.
bad situation, right?
Oh
And so
Oh,
man.
she just be looking at me, but the one thing, I will say is that he loves his kids, and he definitely, plays a role in his kids' life. Even with
man.
my granddaughter, but like I told you, he was a single, I mean, he was a teenage parent. And
Hmm.
so over the years, he got custody of her. And because he wasn't where he needed to be in life, she came to live with me. you
Mhm.
know, um, I actually, first of all, she was a sweet, sweet girl. Oh my goodness, she was sweet. I would tell her, you need to get out. Go meet some friends. I didn't let her stay in the room. I didn't want her to be isolated. But lo
Mhm.
and behold, when she got in
Stepped
high
out.
school,
Oh,
Mm.
God.
Uh
Oh,
oh.
yeah. Oh,
OMG.
yeah.
She became a totally, I wanted to be like, "Girl,
Yeah.
go back in your
What?
room." And
Yeah.
so
What? She
there
said,
was a time
"Grandma."
when I was just like, it was to the point I wanted to send her back to her parents. And
Hmm.
I remember this
Wow.
guy, and Pastor James Smith, if he's listening or his wife listening, I just thank God for him, because he talked about, him living with his grandmother, and
Hmm.
he didn't realize what that God was using her to get him where
Yeah.
he is now in
Mm.
ministry. And so I cried. I went home, I asked God to forgive me,
Wow.
because I realized that God was using me to get my granddaughter where she is today.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
honor roll
Wow.
student, 4.85 GPA.
Yes.
What?
You know what I
Look
Yes.
at
mean?
what
Look at God. Look
She
at
didn't
God.
only graduate with her high
wow.
school diploma, she
Wow.
got her associates. And
Mm.
so I just thank God,
Wow.
that sometimes we don't see where God is taking us and what he's trying to
Mhm.
do.
Sorry, God.
And so, how do you ladies feel when, you have a situation going on with your child or your children, and you can't see the end of the road, but eventually you realize this is where God had me going with my child. How do you feel once you
Mm.
see the end of the tunnel? Or what, more so the end, the light at the end of the tunnel?
Free. Be like, thank you, Jesus. I knew you had my back. That's how when I see that light, I'm like, oh boy, there it is.
Oh
I knew you
wow.
was gonna show up.
Wow.
Like when
Yes.
you praying and you what's that song? Prayed and cried.
Man. Wow.
Yes.
Donnie McClurkin, yes. Oh my
Wow.
God,
Yes.
but that's me. I'm like, when I see that light, I'm like, okay, God, you still work. You
Yes.
never fail. So, oh my goodness, because there's so many times where I thought my kids, I weren't going to make it, or my
Right.
kids weren't going to make it, and God always
Mm.
showed up right on time.
Wow.
Right.
Man, that's why it's important to serve Him with your whole heart.
Yes.
Mm.
Woo, woo.
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
fake with God because He knows you.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Ashley, I heard you mention about your son having ADHD, and you
Mm.
know, sorry, ladies.
Mm.
The one thing that I remember my husband was doing pictures for this late for this church. and they were doing individual pictures, family pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to leave, and the reason why was because they all had a time slot, and I kept saying these people not showing up the last group, and I was like, I'm ready to go, and so he was like, okay, and as we were packing up, the last group came, and one of the it was a mother, her two children and their children, her son and daughter's child,
Mm-hmm.
and the child was in a wheelchair, and
Mm-hmm.
she has some disability. She had a disability, and I watched that mom. Thank you. And I watched that mom. Be quiet. I'm sorry, y'all. I watched that mom with her daughter, and it just made me cry. And so the one thing I said, I love how you are so attentive to your daughter. And I asked her, how did you do it? And she said to me, some days it's hard. Some days I cry and I ask God why. And she said
Mm-hmm.
her daughter will come over there and rub her, and then she feel better. And so, Ashley, I truly believe that God gives special assignments to special people. And so,
Definitely.
how do you deal with it on a daily basis?
Just do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no choice. I gotta wake up and just keep moving.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's
It's
extra
not it's,
work? Do you sometimes feel like you want to give up? You know,
absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
I'm I do have a strong, village. I do have
right.
that. Um,
Definitely.
however, it's still just me and
Mhm.
him. Like, day in, day out, mama needs a break.
Yes.
And
Yes.
because like I said, with the first of all, like um I have the boy, my twin sister has girls, and so it's so different. It's a stark difference. I have another sister who has a boy, but for some reason, mine is the messy one. Mine is he's messy. He's kind of it's hard to have him in a space for too long without. And if they're clean freaks, then it's a lot. But I it's hard. If you see my son, he's a big fella, so he eats a lot, and so my refrigerator and my pocketbook
Yeah.
Even the
that
little
doesn't
ones eat a
stretch like
lot.
a woo.
Yeah.
Because my
Oh my
son was
god,
little and he ate a lot.
that's also like
Mhm.
Yeah.
like never ending.
Something
Like
with them
whatever it is,
boys. Ooh, them
Yeah.
boys have a party out.
it's so hard.
Yes.
Ooh.
And not
It's
only
so
did he eat a lot, he would even come home, Mom, can my friend have something?
Yeah.
oh
And
wow,
or my
wow.
friends.
Yep.
Or my friends.
Yep. My
You
son
know.
has this one friend that well it's his best friend. Oh my
Mhm.
God. They started in here.
Oh.
And this for some reason he always stopped by here to get a bottle of water. I'm like, you live around the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Hey mom, you got a bottle of water? I'm like, what? You always have bottled water. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, so you don't?
Wow.
He
He like,
want that water.
always come here to get that water. I'm like,
No.
Yes, he wanted
dang.
your water. So I wanted to ask you ladies a question, and I want you
Mhm.
to be honest. Be
Okay.
very honest,
Let me
okay?
see who's watching. Let me see
Yeah.
who's watching
That's
before I get real
right.
honest. I don't know if y'all
Yes.
ready. No, okay, let me see. Let me see what the
Okay.
question is first.
The
Okay.
question
I
is,
opt out.
the question is, if I was talking to your mothers and I said, what kind of child was Crystal and what kind of child was Ashley? What would she say?
An angel. Look at the face. Look
I'm
at
gonna tell you the
the
truth because I don't want to pay for it and get that whooping
no.
later. Because I don't want that beat. My
Mhm.
if you had a conversation with my mom, if she was standing before you, she would say, that girl is evil.
Wow.
Oh.
That's what she used to call me. You are evil. So I was very mean. I was.
Wow.
I
Mm.
really was. So I believe what my kids, when I'm hard on them. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, that's what my mother, would say. My mother, I noticed, was proud of me when she walked in the church, Greater Harvest, years ago. When I gave the preacher my hand and God my heart, that's when I saw my mother was
Wow.
excited. She
Wow.
was like,
Wow.
the Lord
Wow.
finally got her.
Wow.
Because I
Wow.
was terrible.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I did some stuff.
Wow.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, I
Wow.
was really mean. I was. Yeah, seriously. That's what she would
Wow.
say. The same thing my kids say. Mom, crazy. My mother would tell you that Crystal is evil. Yeah,
Wow.
Mm.
because I was.
Wow.
But
Wow.
Mm.
So Ashley, are you sticking with the fact that you're
he said,
disabled?
"Angel."
No, 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 I'm not thinking that. No. Let me
Yeah.
shame the devil real quick. No,
Yeah, that was.
I see. It's funny because there's this one picture that I'm always gonna remember. It's just like it's this. She would say mischievous. I was just this real mischievous little girl. Like I was maybe like
Wow.
sneaky. I don't know, just like in the middle of trouble, but not in it too.
Yeah.
That was
just
trouble.
just like
Wow.
oh man, I just
That's a
Wow.
I don't know. That that's probably just a little
Wow.
mischievous little thing.
Yeah. Yes.
What
You
Accident
about
prone.
know.
I'm
you,
sorry. I'm sorry. Real
Tracy?
quick. Accident prone. She would definitely say that. I am accident prone. We had lots of trips to the
That,
hospital.
that was
Lots
me.
of
That was
stitches.
me.
Lots of.
So
Oh
Tracy,
man, I
what
was
would
a
Aunt
mess.
Dimple say to
What was
us
it?
if we was to talk to her talk to her about you?
You know, when my mother first heard me preach in church, she said, "I'm so glad that you gave your life to the Lord
Yeah,
because I saw you dead or in jail."
Wow.
yeah,
And I'm gonna be
Wow.
honest
see?
with you, I never, I don't think I really knew what type of person I was until I really gave my life to the Lord.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, God
Wow.
had His hand on me. I mean, there were,
Wow.
and you know what the crazy thing was? I don't even know. I always try to. I always, they always say something had to happen for you to be that way.
Yes.
And
Mm.
I just be like, what was it that made me that way? I can't come up with anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because, I had siblings, we used to fight each other, we would
Mm.
secretly fight because we weren't allowed
Mm.
to fight, you
Mm.
know. And so I remember times when nobody wanted to go to the store with me, they would take my money and be like, um, tell me what you want and I'll bring it to you.
Yeah.
Even my son said to me one day, "Mom, are you gonna get into it with these people in the store?" And I was like, "It depends on them."
Oh
One of my
wow.
nephews, y'all, God rest his soul, I love my nephew. It was this lady, we were going into the grocery store and I was waiting on this parking space, and
Mm-hmm.
she literally got jumped in the parking space, and I was no, she was
All
trying to
right,
get in the
Mm.
parking
Nadia.
space. And I told him, get out and stand in front of the parking space. And
Oh
he was
my
like,
God.
no, ma'am. I said, boy, stand in front of that parking space. He was like, Aunt Tracy, no, ma'am. I was so mad. And he said, you trying to get me killed over a parking space. And we
Oh
all these.
wow. And that's how but
But
wow.
yes, I was. I mean, when
It's that
I remember
perspective.
this to this day, I was like 4 or 5 years old when my mom's mom would call my grandmother. I would answer the phone and she'd be like, put your mom on the phone. I'd be like, no, I would get smart. She would
Yeah.
tell my mother, put me in a cab and send me over there by myself.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yes, I mean,
Wow.
I used to get into it with my brother's friends, and they be like, "Can I pay you to fight your sister?" And yes, yes, it was, and like I say,
Wow.
I just I don't even understand or know why I was that type of person, but
Mhm.
I was. I tell you now,
Yeah.
I
Mm.
thank God. I
Yes,
thank
Very
God.
true.
I
yes,
thank
yes,
God
yes,
for
yes,
turning
Mm,
my life around.
yes,
And so,
yes.
mm,
the one thing, like a young lady today, she, is helping me, with my husband's retirement party, and she's always been on edge. She's, she's had this not so nice aura about her, but I just always
Mhm.
try
mm,
to keep it, nice. And so she
Yeah,
caught me today, and the stuff she was trying to charge me for all this stuff, and for real, I wanted to just say, you know what, don't worry about it. I
yeah.
was even gonna tell her keep the deposit, and so
mm.
she had her assistant. This is the first time I met this lady, talked to her.
Mhm,
She does really nice work,
mhm.
and today it was just like she was just coming at me mean, and I just was like, hey, listen, I'm respecting you, respect me. you
Right.
know um I think sometimes people think because you come off nice that they are supposed to be mean and you're supposed to
Mm,
be okay with it. And no, we're not supposed to be
mm.
okay. And so, when before we started out, I just said, we're gonna start out in prayer. And her and the girl looked at me.
Wow,
And
wow.
so, the one thing, I've learned, we are in control of our own emotions. We are in control of our own actions. And
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
so, we can't say somebody made us do it. No, we allow them to
Mm-hmm.
push us to say or do things. And so
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud of myself that, I didn't go there with her. I'm proud of myself that I allow the Lord to keep me in a calm place and to end that conversation. And I even had to tell her, she was saying things like, I didn't know. And I had to explain to her name is Ashley. And I and I had to
Wow.
explain to her, I actually do this for a living. I just chose not to do it this time because I
Mm,
wanted to rest,
mm,
Yeah.
for
mm,
my husband's retirement. And and
Yeah.
so
mm,
yes, and so I'm just grateful and thankful, that I can be in that place of
Yeah.
letting my light shine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
mm,
that's what God that's asked for us to do. He want us
mm,
to let our light shine.
Yeah.
And
mm.
so I'm just grateful and thankful. But if you had to leave the people with something, you know, um, some motherly advice, what would you say? What would you say, Crystal?
I would say don't there's no book on being a parent, being a mom. Um love your kids, with your whole heart.
Mm,
Listen to them. They just might actually have something to say. Take the time to
mhm,
make sure that you every single day, if you don't get to see your children daily, make sure you put in a call, a text, and let them know that you love them. And I pray that your kids are doing the same thing. There
mhm,
is no greater love than the love of God. God is love, so you must love your children as God
mhm,
loves you.
mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to you guys.
Okay. What
Mm.
about you, Ashley?
I like I say, I'm still, fresh in the game, like right, But I mean, I'm learning. I can't even put it. I'm learning to not hover, like
Yes.
not trying to be a helicopter mom,
Mhm.
especially in this age and everything like that. I'm preparing myself for this teenage,
Yes.
stuff. I try to, of course, I've done I'm not done, but I have done the work with training them up, of course, in the way they should go. So I know peer pressure is big. And I know, he's going to want to explore and stuff like that. Don't hover. Know that whatever I instilled in him up until now is going to be his voice of reason later. He's
Yeah.
going to come back. He's not going to stray too far away. And if he does, he knows where home is and he knows God, and he knows for himself what he should do. That's so I've done my part. I've done what I could. I'm going to continue to do it.
Yeah.
However, I know he's going to go. So I'm learning
Yes. Yes.
this stuff. So I letting go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Letting go.
Yes.
So what
Wow.
about you, Tracy? What you got to
Tracy.
Don't be afraid to go upside their head when you need to.
I knew she
Mhm.
was gonna come with
I mean that too. That too. that
something.
too.
No, seriously, the one thing I would definitely love to let mothers know is that you're going to make mistakes. You know,
Yes.
like
Mhm.
I always say, we didn't come with instructions.
Yeah.
Allow God to lead you. You know,
Yes.
never be in a place of being too um being in a place where you don't think you can apologize to your children for first, even if you're not
Mm,
wrong, because
mm,
that definitely helps them to open up. And
Mm-hmm.
so as as even as our children become adults, they still need us.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we got to step back and we got to
Mm-hmm.
allow God to speak to them,
Yes.
and I'm still learning. I'm not one of those parents, one of the mothers where I'm always asking my son what's going on in his life, me in his personal life. I let him come to me, and if he wants some, words of wisdom, some advice, I will tell him, but I always say, pray about it. And so, sometimes, we can be too close.
Yes.
Um, in our children's situations, but we have to allow them to figure it out sometimes without stepping in, but
mm,
just keep praying and letting them know that we're always going to be there for them, and
Yes.
to
Yes.
never make them feel bad. The one thing I always say, you always remind him, you're a great man of God.
Yes.
Try to send him positive affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would definitely say that, just making sure, you know our children know that God is in the center. And
Yes.
even when they stray,
Mm-hmm.
trust God enough to
Yes.
know
mhm,
they're
Yes.
coming back. They're coming back,
Yes. Yes.
and that they are coming back. And so
Yes.
I one thing, my son, he always, I always say to him, how you doing? And he'll say, well, he may say, I'm going through, and I'll say, well, you just going through, you're not gonna stay stuck, and you just
Yes.
gotta keep trusting God, and just know that you're gonna be where you need to be. And my favorite word I told you earlier, Ashley, is I believe. And he
I
always say,
believe.
I believe that.
I
And so
believe.
that lets me always let me know God is working on him. God is
Yes.
doing a
Yes.
thing. And so I truly, truly believe that the enemy wants us to get distracted, to
Yep.
focus on our kids, what they're
Yep.
going through, you know what I mean? And not do the work of the Lord. But
Yep.
when we really give it to the Lord, when we really give it
Really
over, I
do.
told you I had to take my
Yes.
hand off of it. And
mhm,
I had to
Yes.
truly surrender to God. And so
Yes.
now I'm saying, and I can share this, and not worry about, somebody judging me, because people do that sometimes. But
Mm-hmm.
you know my son been mad with me, for a couple of years, and he he didn't wish me a happy birthday for 2 years. And when we was on the cruise, my sister asked me, did he call me to wish me a happy birthday, and I said no, he didn't. And she said, when I get home, I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna get on him. And I kid you not, 5 minutes later, I got a text from him wishing me a happy birthday.
That
And
was
so
awesome.
I was just like, thank you. I literally sat there and cried, y'all. I did.
Yeah.
And God always showed me I'm moving. I'm
Yes.
mm,
I'm moving. I just needed you to
Yes.
move out the way, because there were some things that
mm,
God had to show him. There's,
Yes.
my son has a calling on his life, and
Yes.
guess what? He's gonna do what the Lord told him to do. He's gonna do what God has been trying to get him to do. But sometimes we be in the way, and
Yes.
that's,
Yes.
it makes me think about Mary. Mary,
Mm-hmm.
she was determined. You know, I know what my son is supposed to do, and
Yes.
I got to step back. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just grateful and thankful, you
Yes.
know, even talking to him, I called him yesterday, and talked to him, and God let me see that See, he's not angry like he was at first.
Yes, that's right.
And
Mm,
God is moving. He's moving, but God had to move me out the way, you
mm.
know? So, yeah, that's what I would definitely say, to
Yeah,
let go and let God. I went all the way
yeah.
around. I went all the way around the world just to say, let go and let
Let
God.
go.
Let go.
That's
Yes,
all right.
yes, yes,
That is
yes.
all right.
But
Yes,
you know,
let go.
before we uh close out, I have this short poem I will never say. That's the
Okay.
Mm,
title of the
I
poem. It
will
says,
never
I will
say.
never say I wish I'd worked harder when
Mm,
all I had to do was hold you. I
mm,
will never say I was too bored or too tired when all I have in fact is you. I will always, always say I love you because
mm.
that's what mothers do. I
Oh,
said,
oh,
let me make sure I get that in there.
oh,
Did you write
wow,
that?
God
wow,
bless the mamas. Yes, ma'am.
You wrote
I
that?
had to
wow,
make
That's
sure I got that.
wow.
I had to work
Oh,
nice.
on that.
oh, you worked on that.
Wow, that was nice.
Wow, that
Oh
is
wow, you gotta
nice.
save that. You
I
gotta save
will.
that.
I
That
will.
is
Because we
nice.
probably need
Wow,
Yes,
that.
wow.
yes, that is nice.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
very beautiful.
Yes,
Oh,
On the
yes.
card.
yes,
Ladies, ladies, ladies. We are
Yes.
almost at the final day. Oh my goodness. Guess
Oh,
what,
wow.
ladies? Guess what?
what?
Yeah.
September 21st
September
is around the
21st.
corner,
It
y'all.
is. Oh,
So
Y'all
man,
better
it
get them
is. Don't
tickets.
make
$35.
me
We
nervous.
still have tickets left. Get your
Tickets
ticket.
left. Great.
you didn't
Don't
tell
meet
me
us
what it was
there.
for,
Beat us there.
Crystal.
You got to get your tickets to the Hat, Pearls, and Tea event. Our first annual Sister Helping Sisters Hat, Pearls, and Tea event will be
Mhm.
held on September 21st at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Get your ticket. Hey,
Yes,
leave a
yes,
comment, inbox us, call us, whatever you need
You
to
figure
do
out
to get
how to
that
get it.
ticket.
yes.
$35 now. Come
Get
on
your
and
ticket.
support your sisters. This
Get
this is
your
this this
ticket.
is nothing but God. We are coming together one sister at a
Mm-hmm.
time. So
Yes,
we thank you guys, those that's already supported this event. We thank you. We can't thank you enough. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, Monday through Friday, Sister Chat
Oh,
Time. We can't
yeah.
forget that. We come
yes,
on
Monday through
and we
Friday.
do what thus said the Lord. So don't forget
yes,
to tune in every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m.
yes, yes.
The
And
Sister
and and
Chat Time.
and we have some great speakers. And as a matter of
Yes.
fact, we have one right here now, Miss
Oh yeah,
Ashley
Miss
herself.
Ashley.
Yes, yes,
Miss Ashley will be one of
yes.
the speakers, so you get to see
Don't,
her first.
don't even say that. Don't even say
Ashley,
that. You
Ashley,
make
should
me
we
stop.
put you on the program first?
No, no, now you really gonna throw me into the wolves. Look, don't.
Listen,
Yes, yes.
Look.
I remember when I was working at the Ark and she came in, and I believe you brought your son into the doctors,
Yeah, it
right?
was yeah, we
Yes.
came at the
And when
doctor's
I seen her, when I first seen her, it was like she just had this bubbly smile about her. It was her
Wow.
aura. And it
oh,
was just like, and God just allowed us to connect. And when I see you, Ashley, it's always you being this happy person. If you were going through something, actually, we would never know. We would
Yes,
never know.
yes,
Never
yes,
know. And
yes,
so,
yes.
I just
mm,
one thing I say, God is the
yeah,
connector. He
yeah,
connects people the way he wants to
yeah,
connect people. One
yeah.
thing God told me is that when it comes to our friends, our sisters, that we
Mhm.
never break up. We should never break up with our sisters and our
That's
friends. And
Mhm.
right.
so,
Yes,
Ashley,
Mhm.
you are here to stay. You are our sister
yes, you are our
forever.
sister for
Oh
life.
man,
Me
Forever.
and
and my
you
sister's
must never
never
apart.
apart. I was gonna say that. Look, my family, I think we say a color purple, like something from a
Oh,
color purple every single day. every single day. And I was gonna say that too. I said,
Yeah.
lucky dad. Oh my
Yes.
god.
So I just want you
Wow.
to know, I'm gonna find out where you live at when we don't hear from you. And I'm gonna
We
knock on your
coming.
door, and
That's
I'm just gonna
right.
let you know
Okay.
nothing but death can
You
keep
can
Gonna
me
keep
keep
you
from
me
you.
from
from it. Well, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting me
so
into the fold.
yes,
Yes, yes,
yes. So
Yeah.
and we definitely hoping and praying one day we're gonna get you on a Wednesday to come and share a
yes,
word,
yes,
to share because
yes,
like I say, th- I know that other people has platforms, but I thank God for giving us this platform to come
yes,
and
Mhm.
share, to talk, and to
yes,
be open and
Mhm.
honest. And it's we this is a judge free zone,
yes,
no judging.
yes,
Everybody go through,
yes,
everybody has something that they
Mhm.
go through,
yes,
and
Mhm.
you know w- I always say, if I learned this many years ago. I shared with this lady that my son had a baby in a way, and nobody knew,
Mhm.
and but her, this one lady,
Mhm.
and the people from the church were calling me. Your son got a baby, what is it? And I was so mad, and God
Mhm.
said to me,
hmm
if it's something that you don't want somebody to know, then don't tell it.
Don't
that's
tell
And
right.
and I say,
it.
when we get on, we should be in a place where we can, because we all, as women, we go through. But if it's
Yes,
something that we don't want people to know, we not gonna tell it.
that
We're
Mhm.
not gonna tell it.
Mhm.
And so, and it's just sad, why these dogs keep barking? It's sad that, we can't be in a loving place with our sisters to share
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
being judged, or
yes.
for it to be all over the place. But I
hmm
Mhm.
thank God that I'm free, and I thank God
Mhm.
that I'm gonna be obedient to share what He desired for me to share, because
That's right.
somebody may be going through, you know what I
Yes,
Mhm.
mean,
Mhm.
somebody may
yes,
need that,
Mhm.
and so that's why He gave us this um has pearls and tea
yes.
to come together, because
Yes.
it's gonna be exciting. We're not gonna say all what's
Mhm.
going on. It's
No,
gonna be
Mhm.
we don't
exciting.
want
It's
to
gonna be
spill the
Mhm.
tea.
Don't
yes,
spill the tea.
yes. So I definitely thank you, Ashley, for coming on. We definitely gonna
Thank you,
we would
Ed.
love to have you come back on.
Yes,
Yes, and
yes, yes.
Tanya and
And
Keisha, they
Keisha,
couldn't
yes,
be here today,
yes,
but you know
yes,
what? They'll be back. We had
yes,
some other guests that were supposed to come on, and if God set it up this way,
yes.
and
That's
Hey,
right.
so,
Yes,
hey.
that's
but
all.
People were here
they'll
who
be
had to
on for
They're
be
gonna
another
be on next
segment.
time.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes, 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 yes. So we
Yeah,
just thank
prayerfully
you.
September 20th, because I know our chat, our Het Pearls and Tea is the 21st, so we may
Mhm.
try to come back,
No, we're gonna
guys,
do
on the
Sunday.
20th. Or you gonna do that Sunday?
We do
Yeah,
the
yeah, we're gonna do
Sunday.
that
22nd?
Sunday.
Okay, so
Yep.
Okay,
September
Yeah.
Sunday.
22nd, tune in. We'll
Yes.
be
Okay.
right back
Yes.
22nd.
live.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay,
And so we just want to thank everybody who came on
yes,
to watch us, to listen. We
yeah,
hope that there was something that was said that, made you realize, a parenting from a mother's perspective, it's not
yes,
Mhm.
that hard. It's
yes,
not that hard at all, especially when God is in the midst of it.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And so we just want to say thank you, ladies. We love
Mhm.
you.
Thank
Crystal, thank you
you.
for always being here, being faithful. And
Thank
I just
you.
want y'all to
Yes.
enjoy the rest of y'all week. Oh, well,
Yes.
Yes.
enjoy your weekend, because
Weekend.
it's
Yeah, weekend
Friday.
is
Yeah,
It's
it's
Friday.
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 Okay. And
Okay.
And
yes,
Tracy,
and
I'm
just
glad you feeling better.
yes, let
Yes.
me tell
You're
you
looking
something.
good.
COVID
Sounding
thought it
good.
was gonna keep me down, but I'm
hmm
better, 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 better,
Yes,
better. Look
yes,
at God.
Yes.
yes,
But
Won't He
look
do
yes,
at it.
it?
Won't he do it?
Won't He do
Will
it?
he,
Won't He
won't
do
he?
it?
yes.
Yes, yes, just
Oh,
grateful and
wow.
thankful. Yes, I'm
Yes,
just grateful
yes,
and
yes.
thankful.
Wow.
I realized that he not through with me yet. So
That's right. No,
yes. So
That's
thank you
right.
so much,
Yes.
ladies, and we just want to thank everybody for watching. And
Thank you.
just
Mhm.
remember that we are sisters helping
just
sisters,
one
Yes.
faith at a time.
one faith at a
One faith at
time.
a time.
All right, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you guys. Love y'all.
Bye.
See
Don't hang
you.
up, Ashley. Don't hang up.
Ah,
Look.
okay. Bye, Bonnie.